Welcome to another video from Cardboard East. My name's Jay. I play board games from Asia and share what I find with all of you. Today, I'm going to talk about one of the games that was in my top 100 board games from Japan of all time, Planepita. But first, a message from our editor. Hi, I'm Jay, Jay's editor. Editing these videos takes a lot of time and effort. So if you'd like to help me, help Jay, help you, please consider liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and perhaps joining our Patreon, where we give out monthly board games to the patrons. Also, you'll make Jay and me, this Jay, the editor, quite happy knowing that you're there enjoying us, supporting us, and join Team Awesome, our community, where we talk about board games from Asia and everything that's coming down the pipeline from Cardboard East. And without further ado, let's get back to the video. Welcome to Planepita, a game of dexterity and planetary conquest. Here we're set up for a 3-player game here. Each player is going to get a little rocket board as well as their aliens. And these are stuck this way because there are magnets inside. Dun, dun, dun. You're going to take this little black hole card, put it off here to the side. You have a nice scoreboard here, and this is going to be placed here. And then you're going to take this 5, put it on here, 4, and then 3. Then you're going to choose who the first player is going to be. Let's just say it's going to be red here. That means gray is going to be the last player because play goes clockwise around the table. Then you're going to take one of gray's pieces here. You're going to take this last token here, and then you're going to dump it right on top, just like that. And yeah, that's a magnet. Now, before we get into the gameplay, I do want to mention looking at the board here. If you look closely at the board on the sides here, you'll see the square, you'll see a square and a star, and you'll see this little triangle here. Now, what that means is, depending on the player count, you can put your rocket anywhere from this triangle to this triangle. You are free access to go here. So I'm going to place this around here, just like that, and I can place my rocket anywhere like this. So that way I can choose the killer angle that I need to conquest the planet. First thing you're going to do to begin is take your alien, place it on your rocket below this line here, and then put your rockets anywhere between that triangle and that triangle, or the square and square, depending on the player count. And then you will flick. Excellent. Now you're left with a choice. Do you leave this face up, or do you flip it face down? Why would you do that? Well, that's because face down, it's a magnet and will not come off the board and essentially becomes a bumper. Face up, well, then it'll just slide right off. So you're going to have to make that decision for yourself. But if this piece is in the same area where you are, you cannot flip. Now, Jay, what happens if you're here somewhere between yellow and blue, between the inner and middle disc? If there is a little white line that separates these areas here, and if you look closely, you can kind of see it. If you cover the line, break that line at all, then you are in the inner side of the ring. You're in the inner ring. So if this is on the outside ring, that is on the middle ring, because it just breaks that white line just a fraction. This is also on the inner side because it breaks that white line by just a tiny, tiny bit. Now, normally you'll be able to flip if you want to, but if the blocker is in the same place you are, you cannot flip. No, 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 no. And then it immediately goes to the next player's turn. So maybe they all shoot here, they land. And that's the game. Now, before we continue on, we're going to do one thing. We're going to find where this is. So this is in the middle. Not because majority of it is, because it's always going to, if it's on the white line, it's always going to default to the innermost one. So here we are. Any face-up disc that's in this will be sucked up into the black hole. So this goes away, and this goes away. I did make that mistake where this one went away, but this is actually touching the innermost. So it's going to be here. Now, we are going to do an area control. So as you can see here, this would be each face up one is worth 2, each face down one is worth 1. So this is 4. So gray wins the inner circle. So gray will get 5 points. And then now the middle circle goes to green. So they are going to get 4 points here. And well, on the outside, there's a tie. So when a tie happens, normally you'll be giving out these pieces here. So 5, 4, and then 3. So now at the beginning of every round, you're going to add more of these chits here. So 5, 4, and now you're going to add this one, and therefore it's going to be 6. So for that second round, the outermost ring is going to be worth 6 points, not just 3. Something else is going to happen, and that's because this comes with an expansion, but I strongly recommend you play it because it comes with the game, and that is if there ever is a tie, both tie players are going to take this token and add it to one of their little alien discs, like so. Wow, so gratifying. Now, if you look closely here, you'll see that the third dot is pipped, and that means that this will have to be the third disc shot. Not the first, not the second, not the last, but the third one. So here we go. Ah, so gratifying. Now, who goes first? Going first the next round will be the player who got this token here, whoever won the innermost one. In this case, it'll be gray. Gray would go first, and that way green will end up getting this last player token here. And then you set up for the next round, and then you're going to play a total of 4 rounds, and the player with the most points wins Planepita. And that is how you play Planepita. As you can see, it's quite simple. I mean, the rulebook itself is just 4 pages or so, and pretty quick read. And it's just pocket crokinole is what I call it. Even though I'm sure there is a pocket crokinole. This one, and there's crokinole can be carried from place to place, but you can't put it in your backpack like you can with this. And there's just something about this game that I just love. It could just be the magnets themselves. Let's first talk about art and components, because I love these little ships. I love that all these little subtle choices that were made into it. This is actually higher off the table than the center planet board, meaning that the token will get a little bit of air before it hits the player board. I love that there's a little tip here that points, showing, giving you a little bit of sense of direction as you point it out. Also, this little line here, well, you got to put your alien underneath it, so it's this nice subtle way of doing something that's embedded in the art itself. Excellent, excellent touch. More publishers should do things like this. And I was just blown away the first time I saw that. Hilarious. I think that this magnet system is cool, and more games should be doing this because this is so much fun. Seriously, so much fun. How I play, now I play this from 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 players. I play this at all player counts. And I will say that 5 players is my least favorite because it just takes far too long to get back to you. If it's 6 players, you have to do teams. Whether or not you want to do 2v2v2 or 3v3 is completely up to your group. I think 3v3 probably works the best. 4 players, I think teams, again, still works the best for 4 because otherwise it just takes too long, and then you can work with your teammate to kind of hit your opponents. And there's this great camaraderie with that, just like in the original Crokinole. Now, 3 players where it's just free-for-all, everyone's for themselves, I think that works really, really well because you have the 3 tiers of gold, silver, and bronze. And then 2 players, I think, is totally fine. Works perfectly as a 2-player game. Now, this is a flicking game. It's a flicking game, so if that's not for you, I don't know if this will change your mind, but at a 20-minute player count, at a 20-minute play count, I don't see why you would turn it down unless you are just vehemently against flicking and dexterity games. I will say, though, that I think that because these are magnets, I think you should definitely give this game a try. The simple fact that you can take this magnet, hit it to the board, and then choose to flip it, essentially making it a bumper, is such a fascinating decision. And a lot of weird things can happen from that, especially if you're working in tandem with a partner, that you could flip your piece over, make a bumper for your opponent or your comrade to bounce off of, or you could put two bumpers together to kind of make this little wall to kind of protect things, especially protecting against the blocker disc, which is just very creepy and definitely gives you Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood vibes. I don't know about you. But I love that he just sucks you up and becomes a black hole singularity and just sucks everything in here. Things that are off goes in here. There's this nice feeling of jockeying the blocker around to try to trip up your opponents. Or just trying to push your opponent's face-up piece into the same area as the blocker so it gets sucked up into the black hole is really interesting. Like, as simple as this game is, there are a lot of little layers there. You're thinking to yourself, can I make a bumper, try to keep it face up? Do I want to risk keeping it face up? Where is the blocker disc? Where's the black hole disc? How can I push that to my opponents? And you're also thinking about the scoreboard, about where you want to score. Because each round, you don't know what this is going to be. Is it going to be 5, 4, 3? But if there's a tie in the previous round, then it's going to be worth double points. So there could be rounds where the center isn't where you want to be. You want to be in the middle ring and get 8 points. Brilliant, brilliant stuff. And the suggested expansion for these ×2 discs is just a thing of just brilliance. And I would say that you would have to do this every single time because it's really, really cool to just have a piece that's just going to be double influence there to kind of just throw things off. And the fact that it's forced to be that third disc is really, really nice because that pretty much gives everyone 1 and a fraction disc to kind of prevent that player from doing anything. And I think it's really important. It was really important that they noticed that being the last player is really powerful because then you could just keep it face up and you have the last say so. So having that disc that goes on top to signify that you're the last player is a really smart, clever development and design choice. But let's talk about the scoring. And the scoring is pretty simple, and I really like how simple and approachable it is. The 5, 4, 3, but if there's a tie, it gets doubled and added onto, so that way each round feels a little bit more dynamic. Now, should you buy the expansion? I don't see why not, why you shouldn't get the expansion. I mean, I don't think you need it. I think 3 to 4 is where I would keep this game, but that being said, the 6-player game with a 3v3 is a lot of fun. It's a lot of chaos. This is a small board here. And I do want to mention that, as well as fun it is, this is the 4-player game, and this is everything on this mat right here. So as you can see, it's already pretty crowded. Now, you want to add some more to that, it's going to be even more crowded. But having the extra colors is kind of nice. The pink and like the lilac are a really nice touch. And I love that I don't need to keep, I have one bag for this game, and it's for the scoring points, these cards, and like the last player tokens and everything else, all these player pieces, you kind of have to keep on the board like this. And the reason why is because if you put it in a bag, thinking, okay, I'll put these bags here, what's going to happen is this. They're going to just magically pop into here. And then this is just wide enough that your box is going to become pregnant and it's going to not be nice and flushly closed. So this, as much of a gimmick it is quite easily the easiest way to store the game. And it's just fun to store the game like that. And setup is as simple as that. So oh look, there's one hiding here. And even magnets back here. And I talked to the publisher, and they were telling me that they spent a lot of time getting this magnets just right by putting something in here that allows it to magnetize. It took them a long time to figure that out, and I'm so glad that they figured a way how to do that. And even these are able to magnetize to them. So it's just that smart little touch and ingenuity was really made something special here. And that's why you should strongly consider backing Planepita. Once again, my name's Jay. I play board games from Asia and share what I find with all of you. I'll put a link to a video up here that I think you'll enjoy. See you there.